My name is Esin Boziazi. I'm professor for sustainable entrepreneurship at the International University. I am myself founder of the Steinbeis Consulting Centers business model of the future. These business models are sustainable and digital. Kerstin Schenk is my colleague, co-founder at the Steinbeis and co-moderator for today's sessions. We will discuss with you in next 3 hours about sustainable startups, investments with great international guests. Our aim is to learn about entrepreneurial mindset from each other. We have an international entrepreneurial journeys from international startups from Turkey, Africa, South America, EU, very exciting. And today is our first session about impact investment and sustainable startups from Turkey. It's clear to everyone how important this kind of investment is for our sustainable economy. Investment is major driver of the businesses. Investors are not only giving money, investor leads the spirit and mindset of company. So, and how is working in Turkey? Explain our first guest. She's an angel impact investor and founder, chairwoman of ETKIAP, an impact investing platform. Warm welcome, Shafak. That's your turn.
Thank you, Esin, for the warm welcome, and special thanks to those who showed up today to participate this panel today. I would like to share my screen. Yes, so I will try to fit in to 10 minutes or so to explain the landscape of impact investing in Turkey today. ETKIAP is positioned as the first impact investing platform of Turkey to raise awareness as a non-profit social enterprise. In fact, it's a COVID era product, I can tell, as we have pointed out the gap in the market about impact investing in Turkey. We established ETKIAP in March 2020 when the COVID situation has started, and it's developing quite quickly, rapidly in Turkey at the moment. ETKIAP is also the founder and member of EYDK, which is the Impact Investing Advisory Board of Turkey, consisted of all sectors, all the private sector, public sector, and the non-profit sector, who have all come together to raise awareness for impact investing in Turkey. ETKIAP is also a member of GIIN, which is the Global Impact Investing Network based in New York, an international charity, and also a member of SVI, Social Value International, based in London. Impact investing is a model that we can apply to any kind of investment. And when I say investment, I mean it broadly. In a broad definition, it relates to all sectors, funds, venture capital companies, private equity companies, foundations, DFIs. You can think of any kind of investment. And as you can see, it has to have 3 elements. I say any kind of investment, but as the first necessity, intentionality is coming as the first element, and you need a deliberate intention to have a measurable positive social or environmental impact while you're seeking for a financial return. And contribution comes as the second element, that you have to accomplish your intended goal within that investment, within the framework of SDGs. which was announced by the United Nations in 2015. So an impact investment has to comply with the SDGs. And measurement is actually the backbone of impact investing, where you have to insert specific performance indicators or metrics within the strategy of investment so that you can quantify and measure impact. If we have a look into the timeline of impact investing on a global scale, we can see that impact investing has started to rise, has started to gain potential in 2015, right after the announcement of SDGs by the United Nations to meet the Sustainable Development Agenda in 2030. And when we come to 2020, we see a remarkable rise in the potential, and it accounts for $715 billion in 2020. And according to a report published by IFC in 2021 June, it has already reached 2.3 trillion. And when we zoom into the MENA and EECA region, for instance, we can see the regional shares as 2% and 6% respectively. And when we look into the time frame between 2015 and 2019, the compound annual growth rate has raised to 43%. So there is a potential, as you can see. This was just two regions that we zoomed in. And there is a potential and opportunity for Turkey as well, as Turkey is located as a country bridging the East and West. It's a promising entry point for catalyzing impact investing activities and tapping into the MENA region, EECA region, and OIC region. And there's a great potential and opportunity for Turkey as well. When we look into the breakdown of market share of impact assets, we see that the bulk of it goes to the asset managers by 51%, and the DFIs come as the second with 27%. Banks account for 12%, and pension funds are occupying 6% of the graph. The impact investing context of Turkey, when we look into that, we can say that Turkey is still a nascent market, but growing very rapidly, and there's a lot of excitement in the market now, given the global challenges and changes in the investment behavior of younger generations. And there's an assumption that in 3 years, 85% of the population will be Generation Z. So they are, we all know that they are very much keen on sustainable investments. And also the green taxonomy has been a driver to accelerate impact-oriented investments in Turkey, as Turkey is largely exporting goods to the EU countries. So impact investing is also one of the tools to comply with the green agenda, we can say. And according to a report published in 2019 by UNDP, the priority areas for Turkey to achieve its sustainable development agenda have been pointed out as refugee livelihoods, women's empowerment, financial inclusion, and renewable energy and health tech. I will dive into the different pillars of impact investing. So if we look into the supply side first, we can see that the DFIs take the lead in channeling funds to alleviate development problems and to meet the sustainable development agenda in Turkey. And when I say DFIs, these are EBRD, EIB, IBRD, and IFC. And the banks are, the banking sector is displaying a strong tendency to environmental sustainability and to social sustainability as well. And there has been many initiatives in Turkey and a great excitement to run into this. I'm just skipping the banks as there is a lot to tell here, but I prefer to focus on the next title as private equity and venture capital. So in 2018, angel investors and venture capital firms invested $58.7 million into 98 investments in sectors with high impact potential, such as health and well-being, education, clean tech, agri-tech, energy, and social good. And private equity is becoming more impact sensitive due to the ESG requirements, while COVID-19 has played a catalyst role in the growth of the startup systems in Turkey. And there's an exponential acceleration in digital transformation forced by the pandemic, led to a long-term and faster development of startups. And in 2021, the volume of startup investments are increased by 43% from the first quarter, reaching another quarterly record with 57 deals totaling an investment volume of $727 million. In the second quarter, 2 mega deals took place with investments exceeding $100 million, which constituted 97% of total quarterly funding. When we look into the public sector, we see especially the Ministry of Industry and Technology as providing capital under COSGAP and TÜBİTAK, especially in 2020. The combined support of these two institutions have been almost $160 million for early stage startups. And when we look into the pension funds in Turkey, we see a great potential, a sleeping potential, if I may say. The Turkish private pension fund sector is among the smallest in OECD countries, corresponding to less than 2.5% of the GDP. And the pension funds in Turkey currently manage around $19–20 billion in assets. So there's a great potential. Foundations are also a great potential. There's a culture of charity giving in Turkey, and a total of almost 5,700 foundations are operating in Turkey, managing large sums of assets that can be channeled into impact investing, which greatly overlaps the social welfare mandate of most foundations. And they are also well positioned to leverage blended financing instruments, which will reduce the risk and loss of conventional investors for impact creating enterprises. Also, I will skip to the demand side. So Turkey's charitable giving culture, its dynamic and young population and high entrepreneurial activity rate are the elements to create a favorable entrepreneurship system that includes with impact and for impact ventures. And despite the scarce supply of impact capital, Turkey has experienced a strong demand for new ways of financing for social impact. Turkey is positioned as the largest startup hub in Southeastern Europe, around 550 startups established per year. And the entrepreneurship ecosystem is one of Turkey's strengths in comparison to the EU, I can tell. When we look into the social entrepreneurship ecosystem, we can see there are currently more than 9,000 social enterprises, most of them are involved in education and manufacturing sectors. And most social enterprises are micro or small enterprises with an average revenue of $85,000 in 2018. Of course, these are old numbers. It has changed a little bit, but in the social entrepreneurship ecosystem, we need legislation and incentives to make this raise in the coming years. So 65% of these social enterprises seek external funding, while most rely on internal resources such as personal finances and family support or government grants. And when we look into the breakdown of the demography, we see 47% of social entrepreneur leaders are young people, 55% are women, and 83% are highly educated. And there are many emerging enterprises that create a positive impact alongside their business operations. And the impact creating enterprises are mostly focused on good health and well-being, quality education, affordable and clean energy, and responsible consumption and production. And when we look into the enablers, universities are very active in this respect. There are many forums and centers that conduct research on social entrepreneurship and measure social impact. And there's a strong tendency in Turkish academia to promote impact investing activities as well. And we have incubators and accelerators in Turkey with a great concentration into the concept. There are 83 technoparks in Turkey. And they are well positioned to be aligned with the impact investing mandate. And I'm skipping not to exceed my time. And when we look into the opportunities and challenges within the Turkish market, opportunities are the young, dynamic, and well-educated demography. And we have the culture of charity giving is a plus. Also a promising market. Turkey is a promising market for the MENA and EECA and OIC markets. There's a growing entrepreneurship ecosystem, an emerging social entrepreneur network at the same time. And a robust enabler environment is also present with significant access to major global funds. And challenges are a lack of awareness that we are working on. And there's lack of how now to design and manage impact investments. So there needs to be capacity building, and legal structure needs to be designed specifically to define and incentivize social ventures as well. There is a lack of supply of impact capital with a clear mandate to commit, measure, and report impact. And the loan structures that are lacking the impact measurement and commitment side, and the venture capital channel to finance early stage enterprise is still relatively lacking despite a flourishing ecosystem. These are the way forward, what we can do. I'm just skipping that, not to steal time from my friends who are going to speak after me. And there has been another report, a recent report published by UNDP in March 2021, which is mapping out the SDG investor opportunities in Turkey. And this report is actually mapping out the 27 opportunity areas and 9 sectors, which are technology, internet, technology and communications, transportation, renewables and alternative energy, education, healthcare, food and beverage, consumer goods, infrastructure and financials, which are to be the opportunity areas that can be invested in to meet the SDG agenda of Turkey. So I try to give the landscape of impact investing a little bit. Of course, I'm speaking with reports, depending on reports and statistics. And our friends, Cem and Emre, who are real players and doers in the market, will give a better sense of impact investing, impact-oriented investments in this regard. So I'm turning back the floor to you, Esin. Thank you very much for listening to me today.
Thank you very much, Shafak. I just want to ask one question. I saw in these pictures that in Germany, impact investing, if I am right, I don't know, 6.1% of GDP, and in Turkey is 0.9, nearly 1% of GDP. Is that correct, or I misunderstood it?
Well, actually, those figures you have seen are, some of them are old figures, as we haven't received the last stat yet from the agencies. But yeah, it's a very nascent market. Up until 2021, I can say it was a very nascent market. But there's great excitement now in the market. It's in very early stages. It has just started.
And but the question in this case, because I see leadership in social entrepreneurship or social women in leadership in social. It was, I think it was for Turkey, 55% women are leader in social business. And I know one number for that. Yes, in the middle, you know.
Yeah.
If it is in Turkey, in generally, I know this is nearly 90% in Europe and Europe. In our case, in Turkey, a little less.
Yes.
Or 55, I like this number more than others, because only women made in Europe and America, I think, more social entrepreneurship.
Very true, very true. And the reason for this is the lack of regulation, legal regulation and incentives, Esin. So we are working on it. It's on our agenda to make this happen, to have it regulated, but it's a long journey, you know.
Okay, thank you very much. And then
then we lead to the next one. Thank you, Shafak, for this great big overview. I think that gave us a good idea about the investment landscape. And now we have several entrepreneurs who are also introducing their perspective, maybe with a little bit more a deep dive into how this investment is working or can work. First, we have Cem Baytok. Cem is an engineer, but also an entrepreneur in the area of impact investing, focusing on impact through technology, innovation, and growth investments in and out of Turkey. He founded an investment management firm called IDA Capital Innovation Fund. And it is the first impact fund in Turkey investing across technology-enabled business verticals in health tech, financial inclusions, edutech, clean tech, agrotech, and in and around Turkey. So very warm welcome to Cem. And we are curious about IDA Capital is bridging innovative business to growth and impact.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity to explain and to tell about ourselves and the change that we are aiming to create. Before starting, I'm going to share my screen and give you a few websites at the background while I was telling about my firm and our investments. It would be useful to see what's going on at the background. So IDE Capital is an impact investing firm. We are about our 10th year of business journey. And since last 5 years, we've been focused to impact and designed our strategy as impact. The reason why we switched and decided to become an impact investor was not only that we want to do some good, but also we saw that in terms of the financial returns and in terms of an financial return seeking investment manager, impact investing was and is the new era for many investors who are seeking triple bottom line returns, meaning both financial, social, and environmental returns. And especially when triple bottom line return is set, hypothetically, it seems that it would be very hard to achieve. I mean, create financial returns and not sacrifice on impact, both social and environmental. How can that be happening at the same time? Yes, it is a rare case, but in countries like Turkey and most of the south to south world or south hemisphere, where Turkey will be the northern part of the whole story, this societal challenges and the need for economic empowerment, needs of the population and the masses creates those unique opportunity where you can earn money, you can create super high returns or high returns when compared to the others. When in addition to that, you can create an impact. And here comes the impact investment part. This may be happening naturally, but if you are a dedicated and disciplined impact fund manager, you become the ambassador and controller of that dynamic formula where, for example, there will be a unique opportunity that you can make financial returns alongside impact, but 5 years from now on, that business may turn into something else and would create nice financial returns, but would shift from their impact focus. So in that case, an impact investor comes to the place, and if they are an investor in a company and have a rights and design of the investment was based on the typical impact investment principles, we will be controlling and monitoring and keeping that business in track in terms of the impact targets. So if we come to the impact investments philosophy in our investment thesis, we are rather looking at creating impact for masses or for millions. For example, let's assume there's an investment where an investor will be opening a coal mine and will be employing 1,000 coal miners. They're creating new jobs. Yeah, they are polluting the environment. Less for the time being, we accepted that. But what if we could have created new businesses that will be creating new jobs instead of 1,000 that will be empowering or creating economic empowerment for 1 million people instead of 1,000 people. Those are the areas that we are looking for, and especially with the changing mechanism of the economy and especially the emergence of the digital economy brought that opportunity and bringing that opportunity. And we are seeing that those opportunities not only in Turkey, but we are seeing those in Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America. And we are trying to replicate the same scenario in Turkey. So that's why in our investment thesis, we are addressing about 38 million low to middle income people in Turkey, including and especially in addition to that, about 3 million plus, some say it's around 5 million refugees in Turkey. Because all these people are in need of economic empowerment. They are in need of jobs. Shafak would correct me if I'm wrong. The unemployment rate is around 17% in Turkey. I'm sorry, 17 million people are unemployed in Turkey. And the similar cases are also emerging in other markets, including the developed markets. So what we are doing to contribute to the solution of this big problem. So we are investing into businesses that can create not only jobs, but also create measurable social or environmental impact. For example, we are investing into education. Mental Up is a game-based learning solution, especially for critical thinking skills development. And about 7 million children started to use in the world. And it's being used not only in Turkey and in more than 15 countries. Rengen is an energy efficiency solution. So they lower the energy consumption. And here comes the other businesses, Work Company, Nablingo, and Park Ballet. These are actual platform investments. Because what we see, what was our aim to create 1 million plus new jobs for the people. How can we be able to do that? With the emergence of the digital economy, single person or micro businesses numbers are emerging. I'm going to give a number from Turkey. Each year around 120,000 new businesses are being set up in Turkey. And about 30 or 40,000 are being shut down. Why? They're not making money, or the running costs of a company are too high so that they can't handle, or they can't sustain the business and keep up their work a few more months or a year so that they will be earning more money. Instead, they are shutting down. And this 120,000 businesses was mainly conventional business, but especially in the last 2 years, what we started to see with the emergence of the marketplaces like Amazon, and in Turkey called Trendyol, Hepsiburada made a Nasdaq IPO. Those marketplaces brought an opportunity for micro sellers, even me or Emre or Shafak, to set up their company just tomorrow and start selling something in these markets, either physical goods or their services or their teaching. They will be a mentor, they will be a teacher, or they will be buying some goods from local factory, design and put their own brand and start selling those goods locally and internationally. This is the emergence of the micro business environment. And it happened in China, and it's happening in Turkey as well. One number, that Trendyol, which is a marketplace in Turkey, before COVID, they had around 30 or 40,000 active sellers. Right now, they have more than 100,000 sellers, and their aim is to reach 1 million micro sellers, micro business sellers or merchants within the next 5 years in their platform. Meaning that they need additional 800,000 new micro sellers or merchants. Who are going to be them? They will be those unemployed, so that there should be structures to help and provide a back office service for all those operations. What is back office? For small businesses, you need to be setting up a company first. That's one barrier. Then you need to be reaching and finance in order to grow your micro operation. And in most of the development analysis made by the international organizations on emerging markets, the biggest problem is called access to finance. And those micro entrepreneurs are not able to access to finance because banks prefer to finance the larger and low risk operations. So we should have a structure that can take the risk and provide financing to those small businesses. Let's assume we created a structure to help their company formation, provided microfinance, but then there comes the other few problems. Yes, there's a marketplace that they can sell their products, but they should need a warehouse to put their small merchandise instead of keeping there at their home. This is Park Palette, another investment we made. Then they need a logistics provider to deliver their small packages to all over the world, and that logistic provider should be understanding their problem and should be providing solutions better than DHL. So Navlungo is another investment of ours. And in the last 2 years, we saw that all these companies are growing in our platform. And our aim within the next 4 years to be able to provide on around 100,000 plus micro enterprises, meaning 1 to 3 people. So create a social and economic empowerment impact in the lives of at least 500,000 people. So just by Ida Capital, we are able to do that. At least we may be able to do that. That's why we're investing in this cause. And one comparison on how we started to this, we looked at the doing business index, how hard in Turkey doing business is. So Turkey, instead of in terms of the world, it's the 33rd hardest business making country. But let's look at Germany. Where are they? Germany is not good as well. They are the 22nd. And what are the components of this problem? In Turkey, starting a business is relatively easier than the others, but we are providing that solution as well. But look at Germany, where we are. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's 125th in the world in terms of the ease of starting a business. So if we are up to create an economic empowerment for the all, how are we going to do this? So our investments are focusing on these areas, and we're creating solutions for micro businesses, helping them setting up their companies for nearly very affordable prices. Even we cover all their costs for specifically subsections of the society, like women or young or refugees, and then we're trying to create new partnerships with the development agencies to provide more technical assistance and more financing for these. And believe me or trust me, these businesses are also financially super unicorn potentials or super unicorns of the next 10 years, because the business and the economy is based on the bottom of the pyramid, not on the top of the pyramid anymore. This is our belief. And sorry, Emre, I took a lot of your time, so that I guess the floor should be yours, right? If there will be no questions.
That's great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very interesting overview. For me, the question came up because, especially with those comparing digits that you showed with the 105th place, what does that tell us about the founding culture in Turkey compared to other countries worldwide? What do you have an opinion on that? Like, what do you experience?
Thanks to our investee companies, for example, Navlungo, the logistics company, the digital logistics company for micro entrepreneurs, their estimation that there are about 60,000 single proprietorship companies or persons who sell in Amazon US right now. More than 35,000 sellers in Etsy. So they are earning money in Turkey. Etsy is a global handcrafts selling marketplace, as you know. And within just 2 years, there appeared 60,000 again motorcycle couriers owning their own single-person companies. yes, they will be on the payroll of the mother companies. That will be better and fair structure as well. But I mean, we can't change the capitalism at one day. But at least those 60,000 people are earning money, and all they've done is they form their companies, and the structures, the companies like ours are providing solutions to them.
Yeah, I think that's that shows a lot about because we wanted to provide a little bit of maybe look into other cultures and the mindset, and we always say it of course costs courage and a little bit of braveness to
That's business model is like a virus. I mean, those marketplaces, delivery companies are setting up operations in Germany and in Berlin right now, and thousands of new motorcycle couriers owning their own companies will be emerging soon. You should check it.
It is worth to have a look and
yes,
exchange here. Any other questions, maybe from our digital audience? Very welcome also to everybody who joined the Zoom call here.
Yes, and maybe in the end.
Yeah, because we have no questions right now in the chat, but if there are questions from your side, you can just type them into the chat, and then we can.
I mean, everyone can reach me from LinkedIn, either for an investment or cooperation or questions. I'll be able to get in touch with.
We definitely. Work company is very interesting, really. We have to talk about this with Steinbeis too.
Yeah.
And Cem, thank you very much. Now we have
My pleasure.
Emre. He's waiting. Emre Tunalı is co-founder of Agrovisio, and he's also an engineer, I will say, computer vision scientist and investor, and has already 3 international patents, I understood. And I will give you a word, Emre. You are welcome. We are hearing your company about sustainable entrepreneurship.
Thank you. Thank you, Esen, for introduction. And I want to welcome everybody who's attending to the session. I will be giving my presentation from the eyes of a startup owner, a co-founder, who is working for sustainable agriculture. And in Agrovisio, it is what we do. We monitor agricultural production over 40 million hectares via satellite. And our mission is to equip farmers and agribusinesses with affordable, high-tech crop monitoring tools so we can encourage sustainable agriculture. And we believe that is important because climate change is hitting really hard and creates uncertainties in agricultural production. And it's not only the farmers or agribusinesses problems, but if they fail in production, it is also our problem because it affects each individual's access on food, and it threatens the food security. And in Agrovisio, we fight against food security and uncertainties by monitoring farmlands field by field via satellite. And in this analysis, we can measure crop health, estimate yield amount, and we can estimate harvest time. So we give our users continuous, reliable, actionable informations from fields without going fields or without the need of any infrastructure. So they are becoming more affordable, and we are planning to use these kind of tools in a wider sense so that everybody can reach this kind of high-tech products. And how it is possible? Crops gives different reflections, different responses to different wavelengths according to their status of health. And I can say that it's like having MRI or X-ray from yourself. With satellite imagery, with multispectral imagery, we can detect different aspects of, we can measure different aspects of crop health. And for monitoring crop health, we go on taking our MRIs and X-rays throughout the phenology, so that day by day we understand how the growth is going, how well is crops are performing. So we need to do it not for a field, for big land, to create a sustainable and sustainable agricultural environment. So we need to design an AI to detect everything in millions of hectares. So in Agrovisio, it was what we did, and our AI works as an early warning system, and it detects problematic zones in the fields, it notifies farmers, and it prevents yield loss. So, you know, every year farmers are gambling with their incomes, but if they lose the crops, so they lose all their incomes. So it was a cruel gambit for them. But in here, we both try to protect yearly incomes of farmers, and also try to protect food security by preventing crop losses. And we actually give different kind of alarms and different kind of agricultural consultancies to protect their yields and improve their performance. And we also help in efficient resource usage. You know, fertilizers and pesticides are big pollutants for our world, and water is a valuable resource. And all of them are significant costs in agricultural production and also for our planet. So with our analysis, we can state that in which parts of the fields need more irrigation, or if making irrigation now is unnecessary or not, or usage of fertilizer. We can help with optimization of these kind of inputs, so we can also reduce the costs of farmers. And we are currently giving services over 1,500 users, and among which IMECEMOBIL and Turkish Ministry of Agriculture also exists. And with their, we have worked with them, and we know that we can increase yields by 25% while reducing the raw material cost 40%. This is a good number. So we are both serving farmers and serving planet simultaneously, and we are really happy about it. And we are working with governments, ministries of agriculture in Turkey, and we are saving, we are making right farmers to get right amount of subsidies. And in Turkey, there is a system like in Europe, there's also similar system, common agricultural policies, and government gives fundings to farmers if they produce certain types of crops. And sometimes farmers can give declarations, but they might not be producing the same product, or they might not be producing at all. So it needs to be checked for sustainability of governmental fundings. And it was what we did with Turkish Ministry of Agriculture, and detected which fields should be benefited from fundings and which should not be. So we saved over 20 million euros for Turkish Ministry of Agriculture via our satellite analysis. And currently, we are also expanding in Europe. We have opened a branch in Italy. We are having good connections in United Kingdom, and we are expanding our services to Europe and other parts of the world. And we are wishing to also expand our impact by giving our services globally. And if you also want to be part of our journey, you can connect with me. And thank you.
Oh, great, great, Emre. Thank you very much. I have a question about a business model. You said that over 100,000 users you have already, correct?
Yeah, correct.
And they have to pay something to you or to your company, or how is the model?
Yeah, they make seasonal subscriptions to us according to their acreage of land. They give monthly payments, but these payments are well returned to them with the yield increase.
And patent, you are, I said already, you have 3 patents, international. Just to compare to universities in Turkey, how many patents they have in Germany, I give you a number, it's incredible. In Karlsruhe, this is a city in Germany, and south part, and technical university, they have 600,000.
Wow.
I have a colleague, entrepreneurial professor, entrepreneurship professor. He said, I have 600,000 patents. We don't use it. This is in my, and each year he put 2 or 3 of them and say, okay, make a business with this. And I have no chance, of course. In compared to Turkey, we have really less patents, and that's why I want to say thank you for your patents. And this is also in sustainable issue, and you use AI, and I love this idea, and this is what we call nextpreneurs. Nextpreneurs are digital and are sustainable. And thank you very much for this great presentation.